Lake of the Ozarks news, Lake Race Shootout Offshore. Well, it's moving again and back to a original location, or a very familiar location down there at the dam. And what's wild about this is, with this move, there's always opportunity for animosity, but everybody involved seems really happy about this and excited about Shootout Offshore moving back to the dam.
Yeah, and it's got a new name, Xsurance Offshore Race, right? So Xsurance putting their name in there. We all still kind of call it Lake Race,
right?
Just because that's so easy to call it, but now it's kind of Xsurance Offshore. Heading back to Bagnell Dam this summer, the APBA sanctioned event will take over a multi-mile stretch of the main channel, and this is it's moving back too. You know, they used to do it over the Memorial Day weekend, and now they're doing it in June 21st and 22nd.
I did want to note real quick, so while we're talking about this, because you're already going to be confused, because Lake Race Shootout Offshore, location change, now it's Xsurance Offshore, which is different from Lake of the Ozarks Shootout, which raised over $700,000 for local charities and fire departments last year. Well, it's now with the Shootout name. Last year, the Shootout Offshore made its debut, but the difference in this June race is, like you said, sanctioned, and you'll see the different boats side by side competing on water. A little more exciting, a little more thrilling, and definitely a higher danger aspect when it comes to these races.
Because you got multiple boats racing against each other. You know, the old axiom is it's like NASCAR on the water, which is really cool.
Like that, yeah.
I actually think this race is going to overtake the big Shootout in the years to come, because it is more exciting, it is more fan-friendly, thrilling, and now that the right people are running it, I think it's going to become huge in the next decade.
Yeah, because Lake Race, which we won't go into, but there's been inconsistency and, you know, organizers and things of that nature, but it's always had untapped potential in regards to if you get some consistency. And now that the Shootout has taken that over, we saw last year some big improvements, and I anticipate that, as you said, races move to the 1 mile marker main channel Saturday the 21st and 22nd of June. Normally, like you said, at Memorial Day weekend, well, it's moved to later in June, and when you look at that, the name change, right? The title sponsor, Xsurance, that's Rick Lindsay and crew. They've really been huge in the offshore industry, from flying their helicopter to sponsoring these sanctioned races, and they've got teams in numerous classes. So that's a big win for this particular event. And JG with Shady Gators, who hosted the event, you know, in coordination with Camden on the Lake a year ago, he actually is excited about it, and they're still going to be having events out there. And then, of course, you bring in George Tucker with his new 50,000 square foot complex, even though that won't be completed till 26. They are going to have docks there in time, with a boardwalk from there to Neon Taco, which will allow easier access, but more viewing areas. So what's your overall take on this big news about the event?
Well, I think it's a big step forward. I think it's a good move for them. And again, it's run by the Shootout people, so it's being run fairly well. You know, they took it over last year and just keep continuing to grow it. And with things like, you know, George Tucker's new complex going in beside Neon Taco, all of that is just going to add to the greatness that this thing is going to become. And it's going to be good and big this year, but you just wait another 5, 6, 7 years, how big and how great this thing is going to get. So the schedule for this year's races: Thursday, June 19th, you got the pre-race party, and that's going to be at Lazy Gators. And then Friday, June 20th, testing in the morning, followed by a fun run. And that will end at Lazy Gators and a racer party with a concert on that Friday night, June 20th. Then on Saturday, the 21st, that'll be the first day of the APBA sanctioned races, including time trials, street party. Concert will follow that. So this is going to be one big party.
Hey, and that's a big change there, is instead of doing like the street party on the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the event, it's really cool to see the event make some accommodations, because it's hard after Memorial Day weekend. to get down for an entire week, especially if you're running the sanctioned races. So to put that street party Saturday in between the 2 days of racing, that's going to allow everybody to be there. And so that's going to be a big event. And as you said, then a concert to be announced. And I would anticipate they're probably going to go after a pretty big name,
I would think so,
a headline act, something that everybody's going to be pretty excited about.
Yeah, I would think so too. And again, in the years to come, this is going to become huge. And then the last day, Sunday, June 22nd, final race day with an award ceremony afterwards. And it seems like what the organizers, again, of Shootout are doing is they're taking the plan that has made Shootout so great. They're kind of taking a lot of the elements over to the X Insurance offshore races, and they're just kind of building that up. Right. It's going to be good.